Hey, Year 12, welcome back to Marumba. Welcome back to General Maths. I hope you guys had a nice break, and it's Mr. Wheeler here. I'm just going to go through and give you a bit of a recording for the first three sort of PowerPoints that are online, just so it's probably a bit easier to go through now. This first PowerPoint is just a quick one. It's just an intro to Year 12 General Maths. So I'm going to click through it and go through it with you now. So I guess the learning goals and what I want you to have by the end of watching this video, you'll understand the requirements of the general maths course, the general expectations in maths, and how best to use the resources available to you this year. I also, at the end of the lesson, want you to be able to determine your score on the IA1. So your PSMTs have been marked and graded, and some of you do not know your scores. So we'll need to find those, and then we're going to use those scores to help us set some goals for the year. Okay, so you don't need to take any notes or anything this lesson. You can just watch the video and make sure you're listening. You may want to have your OneNote open to make sure that you can go through and find different things as well. So first of all, the teaching team for Year 12 MAG. The teaching team is different this year. Okay, so, sorry, just want to make sure this is still recording. Yep, it is perfect. Sorry about that. So the teaching team, there are 4 maths teachers who are teaching general maths. For those unaware, Mr. Hewins and Mr. French have left. Okay, so we've got Miss Newman and Mr. Minchinton. Now, both Miss Newman and Mr. Minchinton have taught loads of senior maths classes for a number of years, and they're excited to help you guys get the best grade possible. So no student, is going to be disadvantaged by having a new teacher in Year 12. Okay, myself and Miss Thomas are continuing with our classes. All right. So for those who didn't know, Mr. French was going to Nudgee College at the end of term 1, but at the very end of last year, they rang him and needed him to come sooner. So unfortunately, he's gone there now. So your IA1, so IA stands for internal assessment. This is your PSMT. Now, you get a result out of 20 marks. So congratulations, you've already done one piece of assessment for Year 12. So you only got 3 left. Okay, so to find your grade, you're going to need to go to your OneNote and use the following steps to find your grade. Okay, now I'm just going to demonstrate with my OneNote, my class's OneNote. So this grade for this student it's a fake one, just so this is not the student's grade. Okay, so if I selected on if I opened up the OneNote, okay, what I need to do is go back, and as you guys hopefully know, you've got your names that you can choose from. I've got all the students in my class. Okay, so I'm just going to select Pro, okay, because I put a fake one here before. Okay, so if you go into your My Assessment tab across the top, and then if you click on Unit 3 PSMT IA1, here it goes through. So at the very top, it gives you the summary. So this person got 13 out of 20. Their final grade was a C. Okay, and you can go through and have a look at the criteria. So this person got 2 for formulate, 5 for solve, 3 for evaluate, and 3 for communicate. So you should double check. 3 is 6, and 5 is 11, and 2 is 13. So double check that the result is correct, and that means that person's got a C. Okay, so that means that that score of 13 is now locked. Okay, so that means that score of 13 will be the score that you get, and that will impact how much you can get out of 100 for the year. So this person can only get a maximum score of 93 out of 100 now, because there's 7 points they can't possibly get. Okay, so that's how you check it. Okay, so I'll go back to the PowerPoint. And just really quickly, some of you may not have those results there yet. Mainly that will be Mr. Minchinton and Miss Newman's classes. That's just because they have to be able to get the results off your old teachers and then put them up there. So it's a bit hard to do that when those teachers are no longer here. So they will have your results as soon as possible. I reckon at the absolute latest, by the time you come back in week 3, they should have them by the end of the week, okay? So the plan for 2022 is as follows. So in general maths, you get a score out of 100. You've already done your PSMT, that's 20 marks. We've got 2 exams that are done at school. So you've got your exam on Unit 3, which is worth 15 marks. You've got internal assessment 3, which is an exam on all of Unit 4 content, which is worth 15 marks. And then in term 4, you'll have your external exam, which is actually 2 exams on all of the Unit 3 and 4 content, and it's worth 50 marks, giving you a total out of 100. Okay, so the external assessment, it's important you know what this is. So it's developed and marked by QCAA. In general mathematics, it contributes to 50% of your students' overall result. The external assessment assesses learning from Units 3 and 4. However, they may draw on some subject matter from Unit 1 and 2 as assumed knowledge. So it's still important that you know what we taught you last year. So the external exam mark allocations are the same as what we do at school. So it's 60% simple familiar, 20% complex familiar, and 20% complex un. So the external exam will have 2 parts. So it's going to have paper 1, which is multi-choice and simple familiar questions, which will be 90 minutes, and paper 2, which has complex familiar and complex unfamiliar questions. So if you see in green there, you'll get like the paper 1, which will have up to like 30, will be worth 30 marks in total, and paper 2 will be worth 20 of your marks, and you can see that adds to the 50 marks. Okay, so the score on both your papers will be combined, and we'll see what you get out of 50. Okay, to prepare for the external exam, so once we've finished all of the IAs, internal assessments, so once we've done number 3, which is in the block exam in term 3, week 3, all the content from unit 3 and 4 will then be finished. So for the rest of the year, so basically from week 4 onwards in term 3, we're going to be able to just start preparing you for the external exam. So this is going to include reteaching some concepts. We're going to identify areas of weakness through mock exams, and we're going to reteach you that stuff. So you can see a little bit of a schedule. We've got lots of mock exams sort of booked in, ready to go. Okay, and then your external assessment will be in week 4 to 6. It hasn't been released yet, but a time within week 4 to 6 during the external exam block. Okay, I thought this was interesting. So these were the grades for Year 12 General Maths students at Marumba last year. So the students that graduated last year. Okay, so just so you can see, we've got 6% of our kids got an A, which is compared to the state average of 11, okay, which isn't as good, but we do have more Bs and more Cs, okay, and much less Ds. So pretty good results. Hopefully we can move more up into the A category this year, okay, and just to give you an idea, here is the grade cutoffs. So each year these are subject to slightly change. However, this is going to be a good indication. So to get an A in general maths, you have to get 82 out of 100 for your 4 assessment pieces. Okay, so some of you who, let's say you got 20 out of 20 for your PSMT, well, you are already almost at a D level, okay, for the whole year. Okay, so your grades will go up as we go. So after you've done your IA2, which will be your block exam, you'll count your score. So let's say you get 12 marks out of 15, you add that to your score in your PSMT, and you start to see where you're at. Okay, so that's quite interesting. And here is another graph that you should be familiar with. Okay, it's a box plot of, or parallel box plot of student scores at Marumba compared to across the state. So here you can see the lowest score, and this is the score overall. So the person with the lowest score got a 43 in Year 12 last year. Person with the highest score got an 88 at our school. Okay, across the state, the lowest was a 9, and the highest was 100. Okay, you can see the average score. So in the middle, the average score was 66, or the median score was 66. So 50% of the students scored more than 66. Okay, so I'm hoping that all of you here should be aiming to go above that number. Okay, and if we look back at the grades, a 66 actually is a B, greater than 63. Okay, so that would be a really good aim for a lot of us, but a lot of us should also be aiming for an A. Okay, cool. So the content, Unit 3, bivariate data, we've already done that. Time series data, which we're about to start, growth and decay sequences, and earth geometry and time zones. So that will be Unit 3. everything will be covered by the end of this term. And then Unit 4 is on investing and networking, and we'll cover that later. So really quickly, expectations, resources, and goal setting. So the rest of this PowerPoint is just about understanding the basic expectations and resources to students and set some goals for the year. So classroom expectations. Teachers will go through their individual expectations with you upon return next week. However, here's some basic ones. Follow instructions and just be nice, okay? You're in year 12 now. You are young adults. We're not going to tolerate low-level behaviours, okay? So do the right thing. There should be zero issues of poor behaviour. Arrive on time. This is unfortunately a problem that's with senior students, and often you guys think it's okay just to sort of rock up 5-10 minutes late. If you regularly do that, there will be consequences, okay? If you one-off arrive late, that happens, okay? But if you're regularly doing this, there will be some consequences. So please get to class on time. Arrive with the correct equipment. You need all of your equipment with you every lesson, okay? This includes your maths notebook. You need a notebook because we don't have any PSMTs left. We are practicing for an exam, and you don't do those on a computer. So you have to have your maths notebook, calculator. You will need a device so you can access Cambridge Maths. Highlighters so you can start to deconstruct exam-style questions, a ruler and a calculator. All of those things every lesson, okay? Respect others' learning time, so don't disrupt the learning of others. It's not fair, okay? And try your best. Attempt all work to the best of your ability, and make sure you seek any help from your teachers or classmates. Equipment, we've covered that. Using your device, it's to help you learn, okay? So make sure that you don't get distracted by your device, okay? Lesson structure, most normal lessons we're going to continue like we did last year. So most lessons, there'll be a PowerPoint. You'll have some starter questions on the board based on prior lessons. Then we'll go through a PowerPoint on a new concept, and we'll model the correct way to answer these questions. And you must copy this in your notebooks. And then we'll give you a series of questions from the textbook or from the board for you guys to practice. So that's the way most lessons will run. Bookwork, make sure you always record the title, mark your work in a different coloured pen if you can, that sort of stuff. Homework, so for senior secondary students, it's expected that you complete 40 minutes of maths homework each week. Now, this is not because we want to make your life difficult, but it's because if we don't practice questions, you will not be prepared for the external exam, okay? And that makes up 50% of your grades. We have to practice, okay? We might not give you 40 minutes of homework every single week. Maybe we'll won't give you homework one week, but that means next week definitely expect it. Okay, so when we give you homework, we expect it to be completed. You'll see the third dot point down there. Oh, sir, I managed to get half of it done. That doesn't fly. Okay, like great, you got half of it done, but you're going to need to complete the other half at lunchtime. Okay, so please make sure it's done. If it's not done, that's fine. Just be expecting to be sitting in at lunchtime finishing it off, okay? Class OneNote, everything is on the OneNote, so I'll go through that shortly. If you miss any work, you need to make sure that you catch up on the class OneNote. There are online videos. This is something we did last year for the first time, and some of you actually use these, but probably not enough. Every single lesson, or almost every lesson where we can find a good video, we will link it to the lesson. Okay, these videos should be watched to ensure you fully understand the concept taught in class. So look, if in class you understood everything, probably no need to watch the video. But if in class you were thinking, I'm not sure, we'll quickly watch these 5 to 10 minute videos that night to make sure you do understand. Okay, they're also a great tool for revision. So when you're revising and it's been a few months since you've covered a topic, this might be a good spot to start. Okay. Cambridge textbook, you guys hopefully have access to the Unit 3 and 4 online textbook. If you don't, it will be coming, and I'll talk to you about that. So those are all the expectations. The last thing you need to do for me now is complete some goal setting. Okay, so you're going to complete this activity on your OneNote page under goal setting. So if I go back to my OneNote, here's my fake account. So I'm on one of my students. If you click on the next tab down, so the My Assessment tab, 2022 goal setting, the 6 questions are listed here. So these are the same 6 questions from this PowerPoint. Okay, you're going to need to type your answers into the OneNote. So I'll let you look through those questions. I guess the most important ones are sort of 5 and 6. How can you improve from last year? So I've given you some suggestions there. feel free to pick a couple of those, or you might have your own suggestion. And number 6 is, what grade do you want to achieve? So a couple of you have new teachers, so they might need to know, like, if you're happy with a C and that's all you want, they need to know that, so they're aware. Or if you want to get an A and you're more of a B, at least they'll know that they need to sort of push you. Okay, so let us know your goals. Cool. So you can leave this now, and you can please go and do that task, and then you'll need to watch the next video, which is going to be a review of all of Unit 3's content that we did before the holidays.